Hey, alright, so it's like Christmas, and everybody's pretty busy, so I haven't been able to really put together anything for this month or this time of year or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is, instead of doing a new video, I'm going to present this, which is the first audio podcast I did with Jennings about his crazy back tattoo, and it'll be pictures and you'll be able to see the tattoo and stuff like that. So if you didn't catch it the first time when it was on iTunes, back when I was on iTunes, here it is. So enjoy, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year with Kwanzaa and Hanukkah and all that. What's going on, guys? This is Rich. This is the first ever real episode of the What Am I Doing podcast. And tonight we're going to be talking with a good friend of mine, Joe Jennings, about this crazy adventure he had that resulted in a hilarious tattoo on his back that he can never have removed. And it's pretty awesome, so I'm sure he's not regretting it. In the background of this intro, I'm going to be playing a little snippet of some music from Joe's band Ette from back in the day, and I hope you guys like it. So check it out before we get started. This song is Keep Moving.
You'll grow weary of the long road ahead. You're headed towards the burning sun. Keep moving.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, so this is, you're the first guest on the What Am I Doing podcast. That's the name. How do you like the name?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Often a mantra of mine.
Yeah, for everybody who doesn't know, this is Joe Jennings, rock star, as he's been called on numerous occasions.
In jail.
But yeah, in jail. That's an excellent story, but I think we should save that one for when we build more of an audience, because that's an epic. That's a tale and a half. But yeah, so we're going to talk about Joe's awesome tattoo, and I'm going to put a link to the picture somewhere on this, either on the Facebook post or on the page, on the webpage, What Am I Doing podcast.podbean, I believe, is where I'm at. I should really know this stuff, going off without a hitch.
You've got the website already?
Yeah, I got the free hosting website, and I'm Pirate Radio, man. Pirate Radio. I don't even have like a real mic. I'm using the MacBook mic. So far, it's working out pretty well. When I'm not poor, I'm gonna get some better stuff. But yeah, let's get into it. So Joe, this tattoo of yours.
Yeah, I got a tattoo when I was out in Hawaii. I was living in Hawaii, working on a cruise ship. Kind of found it on Craigslist. Never thought I'd get the job, but turns out they liked me. So I had this idea for a back piece for a while. I found it somewhere on the internet. And then after I got it, it turns out there was a T-shirt with a very similar design. But
so we can wear your back tattoo, is what you're telling us, if we look hard enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Nick Mercado found it online and showed it to me.
Nice.
But so what had happened was I was living in Hawaii, and I had this idea for the back piece forever, but never had the scratch because in Mass they were telling me like $6,000 to get this done. So I'm out there, and just for shits and giggles, went into this tattoo parlor in Hilo, not too far from where we would dock. And so I go in, the guy looks at the tattoo on my wrist.
Right.
And he says, like, "Oh, man, what'd you pay for that, Holmes?" And I was like, I don't know, it was like $250, $300. And he was like, "Oh, I would have done that for $50. So I was like, he was pretty Mexican from, like, East LA.
If you guys couldn't tell from Joe's award-winning performance of his impersonation right there.
And so he says, $50 he would have done it for. So I was like, oh shit, well, this is my idea for a back piece. Let me like show you it real quick. And he goes, oh yeah, I'd probably do that for like $1,500,
So
$2,000.
Now describe the back piece.
Well, so it's Santa Muerte, Saint Death. She is like lording over a bunch of like Sugar Skull mariachis, who, each have their respective instruments, and a little bit more to the design that I didn't get done because getting a back piece is painful, man. So eventually I'll do it, but it was just too much at the time. So he says he loves the design, he wants to work on it, but he tells me like, give me like maybe like 2-3 weeks to just work on this, man. I'm gonna make it pop. And so he wanted to add his own like personal style to it.
You want to put his own flavor on it.
Yeah. And I like this guy, and his other work seemed cool. So I was like, yeah, I trust you, man. That way, it's not gonna be just the design I pulled off the internet, but like something unique, something special. So the 3 weeks goes by pretty long, especially you work 7 days a week, like 10, 11-hour days at least.
Right.
And, but finally the day comes and I walk into the parlor and he throws down the design. It's a lot bigger than the one I had shown him and stuff because he drew it out himself. But I'm looking at it and I'm just like, this is the design I gave you 3 weeks ago. Like, I thought you were going to make changes to it, man. And he just looked at me with this, like, really, like a child who's really proud of something he just did. And he says to me, no, Holmes, check it out, bro. Now they all have mustaches, yo. And sure as shit, he had drawn in a couple of mustaches on all of the mariachis.
Little pencil mustaches.
Left one off of Santa Muerte, which, respects for that.
He wasn't going to deface her, unfortunately.
And, but yeah, I mean so what I picture is him just like sweating over a canvas, for the entire 3 weeks. I mean, like, I just picture him, like, tirelessly, like, trying out, just scraps of paper thrown away, like...
Starved artist.
Yeah. And then
like Pollock, just going nuts at the end.
The very end of it, though, he's tired, he's just down on his luck, he can't think of anything, he's got no inspiration left, and he just gives up, and he goes to just throw the brush down, and it hits... and just swipes a little dirty Sanchez across there.
And that's it. Inspiration. The music swells and everything. He's just found it. It's like that scene in in 1980s Batman when Joker's just drawn the mustaches on the paintings in the art museum. That's all he's doing to the face.
And that's it, man. And I picture he probably didn't even try out a few different mustaches, see what works. That's it.
He just saw it. He knew. He just knew in the heart of hearts that was it. That was what needed to be done.
Yeah, and it was apropos. It was the Mexican mustache, so it definitely worked out. Proceeded to get the tattoo from him over the course of like another 4 or 5 weeks, which was in and of itself pretty fun. Like he would just get ridiculously stoned while he was working on my back in the middle of this legitimate tattoo parlor. Like, it's not like, we were in his van or something. Like, this is a storefront place, and he's just openly smoking weed, working on my tattoo. He was telling me about, he's training his son to be an MMA fighter, and, like, how he's got this buddy who does, flies out to, like, Singapore and does illegal knife fights, like... And this is just the, like, casual banter.
So this guy's completely on the up and up, just on all levels. He's hitting the pot smoking while working on your tattoo, which, that's always a plus. Knife fights. Monkeys? So continue. He's working on this piece. He's got his brilliant idea of the mustaches. You of course like the tattoo. I know I've seen it myself.
Oh yeah, I love it. I was proud as fuck. The only thing about it that sucked was wasn't, at this point I'm in Hawaii and I can't go on any beaches and I can't go in any water for like another month,
Right.
But worth it to get a $6,000 tattoo for like I think I paid like $1,500 for it in the end. It was painful though when they hit the spine. That I had numbing cream on too, and it just sucked.
You were cursing those mustaches every time he was licking your spine. You were like, "Why did you? It's all the mustaches. Why'd you have to add those?
Just that much extra ink,
Just those little pencil marks, man."
Yeah, and I could have got it smaller, but I wanted it to fit just right, and I was cursing myself a lot for that, but it was worth it in the end.
Nice.
Plenty of times on the cruise ship, people asking me to take my shirt off, and that's always a good thing.
Until they see the tattoo, and then they're like, "Dude, look at those mustaches."
So, I mean, the show ostensibly is going to be just a bunch of crazy compiled stories.
That's pretty much what we're aiming for at the What Am I Doing Here podcast. This is a good moment. Way to go, Joe, being my first guest, stepping right up. This is a good moment to point this out. If you guys are listening, and if you're friends of mine, you want to come on, promote whatever things you're doing locally. I know a lot of local musicians. Joe is one of them.
That's true.
We can get to that in a minute. And as well, if you got questions, topics you want to discuss, Aaron Hernandez and his craziness.
He probably did it.
We're going to go on record right now, and we're going to say that this is OJ Part 2. But yeah, no, if you want to come on, you want to talk some geeky stuff. I love geeky stuff. I know it was suggested that I talk about the new Star Wars, but I don't know enough about it yet. Nobody knows enough about it yet, except that Disney's probably going to ruin my childhood, like Michael Bay. He's just going to stomp all over everything I loved as a kid.
Bieber looks enough like Anakin for that to happen.
Oh, God. If that happens, people now, you would have... that's like a win-lose situation for me. If Justin Bieber gets cast as Anakin, or whatever other Skywalker they're going to put in, you will have made this podcast famous for calling it first, but you will have ruined the world for making that a reality.
Hey, I didn't make it happen. It's just something that could happen. Well, I figure I hope they do, the Young Jedi Knight series would be a pretty easy way to like Disney it up, but like still make it interesting.
Yeah, hook the kids. That's what Disney's all about.
And that's the Young Jedi Knight series is, like Han and Leia's kids, Luke Skywalker's kids. It'd work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chewie's got a kid too. Oh, so that's the Young Jedi Knight series.
Chewie's got like a
Lobaka.
Was it with another Wookiee? Like, is this a two like?
Oh God, I hope so.
Of some kind.
Oh wait, you know what it is? I forget the mom Wookiee's name.
But they are both Wookiees. It's not like a crazy hybrid.
Oh man, yeah, it's Greedo and.
I feel like they missed the boat if they didn't do that one. I mean, if you got CGI, we can make.
Yeah, there really is no interspecies or outer species relations in any of the Star Wars universe. Yeah, that could be a topic in and of itself.
They're very pure blooded over there in the Lucas farm. I don't know if that's a hidden message there. I don't want to throw out conspiracy theories about George Lucas and all, but he did have stormtroopers, and it doesn't seem like anybody's interlocking over there. So. Oh
man, I mean, some spoilers is I think in that universe, Boba Fett does not actually die in the pit. He climbed out at some point.
Any universe where Boba Fett is still alive, I'm totally for.
Yeah.
Come on, Fett's the man.
Yeah, like he's not a bad guy. He was just doing something for some money. We've all been there.
Misunderstood. We all need cash.
That'll be plenty more of your stories on some podcasts of what we do for money.
I mean, even think about it. Boba Fett didn't even really do anything right. He just transported the guy. It's not like he froze Han and Carbonite. That was all Vader's idea. Boba Fett was just the messenger. You can't get mad at that. Too much judgment. Too much judgment being cast.
Look at this. If Han can forgive Lando, I mean, there could be some reunions going on.
We can all learn to love if that can happen. There's a very positive message there.
Well, if Disney brings on the whole most Disney movies, like there's not two parents, one of them dies during.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that whole aspect of Disney gets flooded into the Star Wars market, then, like, either Luke or Han is going to get killed. Leia, maybe. Who cares? But
They got it. They're probably going to off Carrie Fisher. I mean, she's uncontrollable.
if they go the route of the other Lucas films that are going to get transferred over, like Indiana Jones,
Oh, God.
you've got what Shia LaBeouf is now going to be.
Oh, man, they're going to continue that. It's going to be a horrible, horrible world.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the imagery, the most well-written imagery. He literally passes the hat.
After surviving a nuclear explosion in a fridge, by the way. So the movie's not exactly credible.
Oh, yeah. That's just science. That's just science.
That's just how science works, kids.
Well, it used to be what? Hide under your desk.
Yeah.
That was like what they told you.
Yep. For those who don't know, parents of our generation, mine and Joe's, were told to hide under wooden desks if the bomb ever went off. So, because wood protects from nuclear explosions, in case you didn't know that. And
especially when it's not encased.
Yeah, it was totally an open. I mean, a desk is a pretty open standard piece of furniture. But there was magical force fields. They had them back in the 50s. They don't have them now anymore.
As you can also learn from the new Indiana Jones. I blame Reagan for bailing on the Death Star project.
Yeah, hey, see, there you go. We could already be conquering other planets and everything, but, no one ever remembers that about Reagan. They only bring up Reaganomics. No one ever brings up the Death Star anymore. Hey, who wouldn't want to? I mean, you can't blame the guy for that. Who wouldn't want a Death Star? I mean, come on.
Yeah, there were crazy times, and, movies became reality. So.
That's true. So to recap, what we've learned is that in the real world, if there's a nuclear explosion, find a fridge or a desk. Yep. If at all possible, build a Death Star. No interspecies relations in the Star Wars universe. It's not allowed.
Not yet.
And Disney always kills at least one parent. That goes back to the days of Bambi. Even right off the bat, first scene, most depressing scene of pretty much everybody's childhood, watching that deer get popped in the face.
And let's not forget how many times the editors of Disney try to throw some cocks in there.
That is true. There is a surprising amount of penis in pretty much all of Disney. That's why we turned out so wonderfully weird. That's what led to you in Hawaii getting mustachioed skeletons tattooed on your back.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere.
Disney cock.
Somewhere that's linked to a cock in a Disney film. That there's some sort of correlation there, because science.
I blame Aladdin.
So, yeah, this is... Oh, I forgot to turn the email off. Awesome. Professionalism at its best. We're going to have all sorts of little sounds and pop-ups as I try to figure out this whole podcasting adventure. But yeah, so Joe, how do you like being the first guest on the What Am I Doing podcast?
I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it. And I can see you. I mean, no one else can see us, but I can see you.
That's probably...
well, I mean, that's a good thing about a podcast is you can do it without pants on.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I'm not wearing pants right now. You don't know. This screen only goes, about chest high.
So far, yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on. But yeah, so you're a local musician. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? You can plug yourself and your band while you're on here.
I can
get
do
it
that.
out to you might get 3 new listeners. It might be crazy.
One for every letter of our band name. So we've got a band I have sort of still, maybe not, who knows, called ette, E-T-T-E. It's, to anybody who doesn't listen to alternative country, it's Johnny Cash with distorted guitars. To anyone who does, it's old 97s or Wilco.
It is very good stuff, if I do say so myself. I did play a snippet at the beginning of this podcast. I'll probably outro with a little bit more as well.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can send you something from the new, we're not done with it yet, but we are recording an album currently.
Right.
And it is just a myriad of Tales of Drunken Depravity, which is probably going to end up being pretty much your podcast, yeah?
Yeah, that seems to be the route we're headed. You're the first guest. It can only go a certain direction from here. and this is that whole back tattoo is only one story. We've only chipped at the iceberg that's going to sink the Titanic, known as the What Am I Doing podcast. But yeah, so you guys got any shows coming up or anything like that, or are you specifically?
Lately, it's been a lot of playing on the tailgate of my truck at Nantasket Beach. So.
All right, tailgate, truck, Nantasket Beach. I know a lot of these listeners, all of them probably, because who else is going to listen to me talk, knows where Nantasket Beach is. So just head down there and just yell out, "Hey, Joe," and he'll answer. Joe,
you're going with that gun in your hand.
Yeah, you're going to keep an ear out, correct?
Of course.
And he'll play you some soft, sweet love-making music.
That is what I do.
It'll be amazing. You're gonna make some babies down at Nantasket Beach listening to Joe Jennings.
Hey, who knows if I have already or not?
I meant the listeners, Joe, not you. They're gonna be making babies to your music at Nantasket Beach.
Oh, that's nice. That's a romantic thought,
isn't it?
Planned babies.
They can even look at your beautiful back visage of mustachioed skeletons while they do
Especially at Nantasket Beach, man.
There you go. It's the whole package.
Dude, you're missing some fun out in Boston right now. The Commons has this outside the box, they're calling it, and they're just having a bunch of free shows and stuff, and like art exhibits and some wacky dudes on stilts I'm going to see tomorrow. But what is it? Next weekend, I think, is a free Bosstones and Lemonhead show in the Commons.
Oh my God. Why am I in South Carolina? This is terrible. I would love to see that. All right, well, for the podcast, then, I guess we're pimping that. I got to kill a spider. Hold on 1 second. You ungodly creature. Yeah, so Bosstones and Lemonheads next week at the Commons. You heard it here, probably not first, but I tried. I can only do so much. I just multitask. I'm podcasting and killing disgusting insects all at once.
Yeah, what do those look like over there, man?
Oh God, they're horrendous. The spiders down here can eat babies, and it's not okay. I mean,
they just discovered a flying spider.
Those exist? Or
they just discovered a spider with like moth wings.
I'm done. I'm done. That's it. Actually, this will be the last episode of What Am I Doing podcast, because I am going to retreat into a hole where I cannot be found by such creatures. For those of you that don't know, listeners, I am terrified of spiders. I'm a little bitch when it comes to them. I will kill mostly any creature, even spiders if they're small enough. But if they look like they can fight back a little bit, I will run.
Dude, you know what you need to invest in?
What's
they
that?
have? It's supposed to be for killing flies, but I'm sure it would work on spiders too. It's a shotgun that shoots salt.
That sounds like that was intended for entirely other purposes.
Oh man, get blasted!
Get blasted!
But it's for
don't
killing
mention what show
insects.
that's from though, because we don't want to promote stuff. They're not paying me. Excellent show, but they're not paying me.
Yet. It's always weather in a certain part of this country.
There it is. That's as far as we'll go. I guess one more short thing I can throw in here with you now that you're here before I let you go was something I still use to this day that you and Brendan Hogan created, which was cake reactions. And I'd like for you to describe to my listeners what cake reactions are.
If you've ever heard the band Cake, and this is different than Cake Farts, which is another fun thing to look up when you're bored. You can something that.
Yes, we will not be promoting any search engines as well yet, because they haven't paid.
But so, if you've ever heard the band Cake, I can promote that. It's not good or bad, it just is.
Yeah,
I enjoy.
We can promote Cake. We love Cake. That's fine.
In every single song, without fail. One of three things will happen. The lead singer, also bassist of the band, will say, "Oh yeah, oh no." or just, oh. So it has become a thing for us to just react in that way in as many situations as possible and see how many people can figure out what you're doing, if at all.
Let's try this out right now. Like, so for instance, if I was to say, "Hey Joe, would you like a drink?"
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. Would you like to go for a drive?
Oh, no.
See, there you go, people. Cake reactions. You got to use them. Confuses people.
I mean, if he can use it in every single song, we should be able to use it in day-to-day convo.
I think that's why he created the band, was just to get that out. I think the songs are just an added pleasure. All right, well, let's save more shenanigans for a future episode. I think we can wrap this up. Anything else you want to plug? Anything off the top of your head?
Oh, yeah, the album. Why did I not actually do that? We have a yet unnamed album.
That's probably why you didn't do it.
Oh, man. Well, it's been about a year that we've been working on it, and should be about a month to go. Like, we'll see.
Okay.
Definitely going to drop online. Like, with any luck, we can come up with the money to make some physical copies to pimp out. But, yeah, 11 songs written by me truly, and also one that's going to be a cover of a friend of ours from Florida who passed away, many a moon ago. And it's so much easier to plug something when it has a name. The untitled ette piece.
There we go. I like it.
Drops whenever.
I like it. You're keeping a lot of mystery. Not a lot of artists do that nowadays. They're pretty much upfront about their information. But you guys like to fly under the radar of, we don't know when we're doing this. Much like
build suspense. That's all it is, You
guys are the album equivalent of this podcast, the "What Am I Doing" podcast. It's the
I mean that's kind of the general air of the band right now. Is what are we doing?
Songs about drunken depravity. We're gonna have podcasts about drunken depravity. It's gonna be kismet.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you got to check out Nick's bands. Nick was the guitarist of our bands, as you know.
Nick Mercado, for all you listeners who do not know who Nick is.
Yep, and he is in this band, These Wild Plains, right now, and they are killing it. I heard a 10-second snippet today, and it's fantastic.
Just in 10 seconds. That is impressive.
It is legit a teaser. I mean, when people say they're dropping teasers, like, this is legit, like, 10-15 seconds, but a pretty good 10-15 seconds of his album, which they're coming out with. That is more concrete than the one we've got, so.
That's true. They got a name and everything.
Oh, yeah. They got a name, they got mustaches. I mean, it's intimidating.
Sellouts. Oh, man. But yeah, so this has been Joe Jennings of ette, and we went from back tattoos to Star Wars to spiders that freak me out, and now there's new breeds that want to kill me. And to his awesome band ette, and their to be announced, released, debuted album at some point.
Yes.
Debut wasn't the right word because you totally already have an album out. So scratch that. I'm a terrible host.
Hey, I was just thinking, have you even given your name yet to any new listeners who might find you?
I am. I'm Rich. They know that. I got to come up with something better than that, though. That was just a snippet.
Scratching the surface.
Yeah, I'm gonna formally announce that the next time we have Joe Jennings on the show, it's going to be the Brooklyn Adventure. Slash.
Oh, that was Harlem, man.
Oh, Harlem. That's right. The Harlem Adventure / how he became
my Harlem Shake.
Joe Jennings' Harlem Shake.
My Harlem Shakedown.
There it is. You guys heard it first here. The next time Joe Jennings is on the show, it'll be the Joe Jennings Harlem Shakedown. So that's going to do it for this interview here. Let you guys get on with your lives, and let Joe here get on with his life and being a badass and a rock star. And I'm going to go back to probably watching Arrested Development for the rest of the night until I fall asleep. I'll plug them because they need it.
You can something it if you don't know what it is.
Yeah, you get something Arrested Development if you don't know what that is. And if you don't know what Arrested Development is, then you are missing out on wonderful television.
You're talking about those R&B guys from the 90s, of course.
Oh, absolutely. I'm totally not talking about the TV shows. Awesome.
Everyday people every day. But Mr. Wendell, that was a classic.
Now I'm going to have to pay copyrights.
Just don't play the song. You'll be fine.
All right, man. Well, that's going to do it for this interview for the What Am I Doing?
Hey, first show.
The first show of What Am I Doing podcast. Clearly, I don't know what I'm doing. I couldn't even remember the name of my own podcast. That's what we're all about here, folks, is total unprofessionalism, drunken depravity stories, and not knowing how to properly navigate the internet to promote any kind of entertainment medium whatsoever. So I don't really have a outgoing tagline. I gotta come up with. That I gotta do. Everybody had one, like good night and good luck, kind of. Yeah. So I guess take care until the next time you hear my voice, and hopefully you made it this far. If you did, congratulations, because your life just was expanded. Your knowledge and brain powers have all come colliding. I might have.
Oh, who can say? Until it's recorded.
Yeah, you never know where the interview is going to go. I totally didn't know I was going to kill a spider live on air. That just happened. That's
you murdered something, man. On air.
I committed homicide during a live internet recording. Specieside. Is that a word? It's a word now.
It is now. It is now. That's the name of the album.
There it is.
Fuck it.
You guys heard it. The album is Specieside.
Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It does. It rolls off the tongue. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in, and hope to have you come back and listen to some more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe, you want to say goodbye to the listeners?
I'm going to miss you guys so much.
See, that's love. That's just love.
You should end every show at that.
Well, thanks, guys, for listening to us ramble on and talk about some good stuff. There'll be more to come, so stay tuned.
You're headed towards the burn.